Can they pull through this time in game number 3 and get a win off of it? Falcons taking it back with the
to 1 as we jump on in to the land of Dawn. And Brig, I don't know, these compositions, they're like Digimon. They just keep evolving. You don't know when it stops. You don't know when they have figured out what is the end goal.
Yeah, if there's one thing that evolved, we're no longer on all flickers. We at least see 2 Purifies on Team Falcon's side. And understandably so, you're seeing an overwhelming amount of crowd control over on Vitality, which I feel if they don't get to use in the proper sequence would be very punishing for their team fights in the latter portions of this game.
Yeah, really interesting. A quick look at the emblems, and immediately we're already seeing Pull Yourself Together from Haji on a Purify in comparison to a Wilderness Blessing coming in from Moreno. So Moreno wants to move around this map a lot quicker with Finn, thanks to that concussive blast, but the Brave Smite here, pretty important for Ogun to keep himself alive. As we see the first couple of interactions, it's just about control. It's about how much we can control this lane and minimize the rotations.
Yeah, Finn and Moreno are required to really work together, I feel, especially as because the nature of a Kufra, which I feel like is the reason why we don't really get to see him recently, is also because of the fact that once you go in, there's barely any way for you to disengage, and it's pretty much like you have to at least get a guaranteed stun or set for you to make sure that you get to maximize this hero to its fullest potential, because if not, it will be very easy for Falcons, considering their lineup too, to just go in for the punish. And that's a quick rotation you're seeing from Haji. Okay.
Potential engagement from Finn as well. I don't think they want to do this right now, right? Nobody's level 4 at the right time, and more importantly, as much as they want this EXP crap, which Shogun gets, no problem, but I don't see Falcons finding First Blood just yet. Not until we see Haji hit level. Oh my goodness, Moreno's so close. Oh, he walks out just at the very edge, gets caught.
Yeah, I probably thought there was a bit more grass. But okay, Flap. Oh, it's not even the Tyrant's Revenge that catches him first. It's just gonna be a Detona's Welcome from Shogun.
Ah, Shogun's really good with the Detona's Welcome. It's actually kind of crazy, but here comes Haji.
Okay, Finn, he's gonna show himself. They have enough idea of where Vitality are currently positioned. Kyle's still gonna go window. There is no Ball of Lightning anymore from Moreno to land the stun, but Finn is still gonna be there. They're trying to focus on Haji this time, and Nile will just really secure the objective. Hold on. Flap goes in. They still want to fight, but Vitality don't.
I'm surprised that they didn't even want to like let the Feathered Airstrike rip or like try to force out. They knew that, okay, Shogun should be okay here, I would assume. He's max stacked out. There's no chance that Kyle's going to be able to cut him down just yet. Not without a little bit of help here. But on the opposite end, I was really expecting like Haji to try and make something happen, force somebody to flicker, force them to flicker forward or anything, because losing their battle spells on the side of Vitality is a lot more punishing compared to the Falcons.
Yeah, so the one's on all flicker, but they dealt with that first objective really, really well. I mean, that immediate transition from just taking out Flap, which I feel also shouldn't have been the case, but I guess it was just a bit too unexpected for Vitality to just jump on him at the same time too. So you don't really get to see Falcons at least in a position where they'll be confident enough to contest. The gold lane is definitely something that we don't really put into consideration as much now, just because the focus is just really heavily towards the mid. It's because of these mid trios that we're seeing a lot of things happen, or supposedly happen, by far.
Yeah, and also the scary thing is that Super Marco also decided to take the Purify, right? So taking these like heavy hate trades against Iman, there's always that risk of at any point of time somebody could come for this gank. And he doesn't mind the 2v1 scenario because of that Purify, but as soon as he loses it, he suddenly becomes this vulnerable target that even Nile can take it out without much effort. So it's about maintaining control, right? And you can see that both sides, oh my goodness, another Detona's Welcome set up for Shogun and Nile.
It's not a good start for Flap, at least, and I don't think Vitality are paying too much attention towards Super Marco 2. They acknowledge the fact that yes, this is a carry on Purify, but I think they're just really trying to double down on shutting down the EXP laner for Falcons, which I think would allow for so much more openings and entries here for Falcons. But considering that he hasn't been able to farm up, Falcons are just not confident enough to fight against Vitality, especially in these objectives, which Flap will still decide to show up for, but it's a 2-level gap you're looking at between him and Shogun.
Yeah, this should be a no contest unless they're able to get like a big fat all coming in from Owen. I mean, he's thinking about it, right? He sees all of the members there. This might be the angle to try.
Whoa, that was just a flicker set up onto Owen, and they immediately burst him down! The Detona's Welcome! Catching Kyle! But he still gets to secure the retribution nonetheless. This is Falcons clapping back. A cut Disrupt 2, finding 3 in the process. Haji flying in towards Moreno. Doesn't have the fettered airstrike, but Falcons are able to turn that around.
That's so sad. He was a pixel off the wall, but at least the Falcons will be able to try and convert this to something even more. They get mid-tier 1. Let's look at this replay one more time, because again, great engagement, right? But the Deton is welcome. As you see just here, he eats him mid-air, flickers backwards, and misses the wall. Puts him right on top of the turtle. He thought it was gonna connect. Honestly, really well played from both sides here, but big ups. And Ogwin knows, it's like, hell yeah, they messed up. And that's great, because now this is going to drag out a little bit further. And with a 1.5k lead, Haji is starting to come into a position where he can legitimately start threatening the members of Vitality. Moreno in particular. He might, if he can force Moreno to flicker early on, this mid-game might be where Falcons really shine.
Yeah, because Moreno, I think, has been very difficult to catch as well on the Eudora, but that pretty much put Falcons back in the game. That's already a lead over to their side. Oh, okay, Finn is gonna spot them here. Eman should already know that there's a potential gank.
Are they willing to trade top tier 1 for this? They're probably gonna send Kyle up to the top side, right? As soon as they show, the wave gets cleared up here. Yep, he makes his way over to the top side. They already know this. Shogun is communicated. Nile ready to punch.
Oh, that was a lot of damage from Nile. And that was just Nile.
I definitely think that could have been a kill angle there, but I think even now recognize there's not a lot of people here. I'm not 100% sure whether they moved away from that conceal afterwards, but more importantly, he's got to make sure that he gets the angle right. If he accidentally pushes Kyle too far in certain areas, Kyle, he's good with these cables. He can start zipping around. He's got to lock him down right against the wall.
Okay, at least they somewhat equalize things, and the farming is looking still pretty great, especially for Super Marco. But this is where we see how Vitality are able to bounce back. They're not able to, or they're not allowed to make any mistakes similar to what happened earlier. It's been a really good run for Shogun on the Barretts here, but that could have been the turning point if they don't find their way back in this game. Finn is looking for a really good setup here, but they have no idea where Flap is.
Oh, it's a bit of a dangerous gamble here. Not to mention that they've already got like a slow pushing side up top as well. That's going to start turning into the opposing favor. Oh no, the Deton's welcome did not connect. Now Falcons have an opportunity here.
Okay. Shogun really has reset here in this game. That's another Daytona's welcome not connecting onto anyone. Falcons are fully aware of the fact that they no longer have that setup potential. But Kyle is nowhere near this objective as of now.
Can't afford to show himself. Iman spots it, but Kufra is nearby. Look at Finn. He's going for the... And he's anticipating it.
Oh, he's waiting for it.
It's
and
good.
He catches Kyle. Blazing duet from Eman, and the bouncing ball prevents him from actually getting to cable out of there.
Great call. Great call. Made sure to use everything to ensure that Iman was able to get this kill, and also the bouncing ball to keep him in place rather than letting him move around. The order of these skills matters so much, and now Vitality, they need to take advantage of the scenario.
Okay, that's a Daytona's welcome with a Cyclone Eye. Slight reposition, but the damage from Nile, it's a bit too much. Haji using the fettered airstrike. Finn tries to tank the damage, but it's an outplay. Nile, it's a turnaround. Falcons actually take him down, and Super Marco is able to find one more.
Beautiful play coming in from Haji as well. Feathered airstrike, Purify as well to ensure that he makes it work. However, the cooldowns are down. And Flap, he's not going to be able to get his ult back up in time, I think. I think he's got about like 13 seconds until it comes back up, but there's just too many members dead on the side of Vitality. This is no contest, and Falcons take this lead back. Despite the game going for at least 9 minutes, it's surprising to see only one turret from the side of Vitality has been taken. Falcons are able to get 2 turrets of their own, but this is where we see a 3.5k lead turn into a 5 to 6k lead.
Vitality should be very particular with where they decide to choose the fight, or if they even want to proceed with the fight, if they find themselves in positions that aren't really as favorable for them. Because I believe earlier, especially with that Cyclone Eye, putting Shogun in a slightly deeper position towards Falcons area made it a bit more difficult for Vitality to actually follow through. And so with that, it was another clear punish from Falcons, and it's a huge win for them because gold lead, map control, everything's just now all over to their side with just that single play.
And that's exactly what they want for it. These are the big momentum shifts that you expect to see in a game of this high level. Oh my goodness, okay. Some big spells being thrown on, and Super Marco just lost his flicker, walking up too close and getting hit by that ball lightning on top of the superconductor, allowing it to go become a bit of an AoE in small areas. Moreno, he's looking for that big one shot, and I'm worried for it, right? If Super Marco makes a mistake and walks up too far, even though you do apply yourself with the Purify and take away the superconductor, if Moreno just 1-2s into the ult, I think there's a pretty high chance of you just exploding out of nowhere.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's just really Vitality forced to maybe find a different combo. It could be maybe Finn and Niall. There's a lot of damage you could expect, but Finn decides to go in instead, and together with Emman, they blast Super Marco! The perfect pickoff and start to this team fight, only if Niall makes it out alive, but he doesn't. Flap actually goes for the chase. 4-man Landshaker to land it towards Team Vitality, but the re-engage, they still want to fight! The Daytona's welcome! And it's Kyle, they catch a successful land on the wall this time, but he still finds the wall spam!
Holy cow, he nearly killed 2 people there. Haji, if he just had a little bit more damage, I think they would have been able to secure it, but oh my god, that should be the Trinity complete for Iman at this point of time. He was building up to it, didn't find it, and then eventually got it, but you gotta give it up for Shogun here. A great engagement coming in from Finn. They outplay it with the help of Iman, but right at this very moment where you're expecting the cleanup, you're expecting Haji to be able to hit that fat stun after the Landshaker. The charge, the instant Detona's welcome. What a reaction from Shogun.
And this time it landed, but with that very brief amount of time that Kyle got, it's so crazy to think that he was nearly able to outplay at least 2 members of Vitality, as you mentioned. You do want to put him close to the wall, but that's also something he wants. So at the same time, you maybe should position yourselves away from it. It maybe should only be Shogun near the wall if ever you do try to go for that exact same setup later on.
Hey, that's the truth of it all, right? Sometimes you just get overly eager and forget how big some of these abilities actually are, but Haji is now starting to become a legitimate problem, right? Iman, he's got to be careful. Every time he uses that BMI, which is why what he's doing every single time he drops it down, he walks up forward, hopes to get a reaction, and then takes the BMI away, begging for Falcons to say, hey, one of you have to make a move first.
Emman will get his flicker in 10 seconds, though. They will be ready to take on this fight. Same for Moreno.
Oh, Finn.
Kyle already flies in, though. Finn charging! Kyle secures the objective nonetheless, though, and Niall gets bursted down by Super Marco. Shogun looking like the next target. Daytona's welcome out. Finn trying to run away. Emman blazing, do it just to make it to safety, but he fails. Vitality are just scrambling to get back to their base. Falcons are dealing a bit too much damage.
It's a little too much to handle here. Big mistake coming in from Finn. Unfortunately, tries to go behind the pit to intercept, but ends up hitting nothing. He's still holding on to his ult, and so far, they need a defense. They're going to pull it first. Pull it down to the bottom side.
It's just Finn and Shogun, but they're just being torn down to pieces by Super Marco on the carry. Moreno gets jumped on by Flap. 3-man stun, but Falcons are in the base. They take this game 2-1.
Nothing too surprising in this game. We knew that this game would end with a big bang at the very